It's Big Game James, man. I'm back in the building. You know what it is. You see the star in the back. You know it's going down Sunday with them Dallas Cowboys, man. You better get ready for that matchup. But before we talk about that, I've been having a slew of high school athletes on here, man. I've been having some dogs. I got another one right here, Mr. Zedric Washington, man. 6'3", 225-pound defensive end linebacker. Have been killing out there. Just had a player of the game, and I'm excited to talk about that. But before I go into anything further, Cedric, give a little bit of background yourself. Tell us who you are, and give a little background about yourself before we jump in this interview.
Yes, sir. My name is Zedric Washington, class of 2024, Rising Star. Yes, sir.
All right.
Straight out of Magnolia, Mississippi. Yes,
okay, all right. So, first of all, let's jump right in here. It says you're listed as a linebacker in the defensive end. The tape that I've been seeing you've been playing a lot on the outside, and you play a lot of the middle linebacker. Kind of in your kind of perspective, talk about the position, the linebacker position, the position you play, and then even defensive end. Kind of what are the differences between the two, and do you have a preference?
I like linebacker better because I have more room to work. You know what I mean? It's easier for me to be downhill on the tackles a lot instead of trying to fight the blocks. I prefer line sometimes.
Okay, and hey, you know what I would say? So you're basically saying you don't want the offense to get the beat on you. If you're playing the defensive end, you're coming off that edge every single time. They kind of know where you're at. When you're at linebacker, you kind of get the freedom to kind of get where you want, see where the hole in the guy, and attack the ball carrier or the quarterback. Is that where I'm getting from?
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Now you already got the prototypical size, especially playing a linebacker position. All right, and I'm probably excited about that. I just said that you were awarded player of the game. You had a lot of big tackles and interception taken back to the house. And you play with bad intentions, like you said. You come downhill and you be laying the wood on people. Talk about that game. Talk about your game for a minute. What are kind of your strengths in your game right now, and what do you think you need to add to your game kind of going forward?
Yeah, I spend a lot of time in the weight room, so I'm pretty strong. Then, so both of them together is a bad sight. So I can work on and get my drops, finding the third receiver, stuff like that a little bit more. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Now, like I said, I seen you. You're pretty versatile because for your size, I seen you drop back in coverage. Like I said, you had the big interception. You drop back in coverage. Is that something that you kind of maybe worked on? Because not every linebacker, usually when you hear about a linebacker, they're always great, tackler, ball carrier, blitzer. But it's rare you kind of see them. They can really drop in coverage and play coverage as well. And I seen you doing pretty good. Is that something that you kind of always kind of worked with, or is that something you kind of honed maybe this past summer or something like that?
This summer, my coaches, they kind of hit me out on it. But yeah, we put a lot of time in it and we work on it a lot. So yeah.
Okay, all right. Now, is there anybody you actually proud of your game after? Do you ever watch, the NFL, college, anything like that? Is there anybody you ever watch the game and say, hey, I kind of want to have my game kind of like that?
I like watching Demario Davis. Yeah. Try to wrap it around him a little bit. Ray Lewis. Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, every kid that's I asked who played linebacker, I said, who's the guy you like? Ray Lewis is the first guy. So Ray, he should feel good, dog, because everybody mentions his Ray Lewis. So he's done made an impact, dog, because he was in my time and I was loving him. And your guys' time, y'all still talk about Ray Lewis. So Ray Lewis had to be a dog. You know what I'm saying? If y'all still talking about him. But I'm kind of surprised because not a lot of people know about Demario Davis, though. Not a lot of young kids know about Demario Davis and say ain't going to mention him. Tell me why you kind of mention him out there. Is it because he plays for the Saints? It's in that area, or just kind of you just like how his game plays?
I kind of like it all. Like the energy that he brings to the field, you gonna feel him when he step on the field. You know what I'm saying? Gonna be everywhere. I just like that.
All right. So, if you were to describe your game in maybe like a sentence or two, what would you describe your game as?
I can say I come off the ball hard, try to make big plays, help out my teams, lift them up, and stuff like that.
Okay.
That's what I would
Now,
say.
all right. Now, do you have 2 more years? Correct. I mean, this year and next year.
Now I have 4 more. Yeah, this year and next.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You got this year, and next year. Correct. All right. Now let's talk about. I know the season has already started, so let's kind of talk about how your season's gone so far. Can I get your record currently? Oh, I couldn't hear you.
We're 4-0.
4-0. Okay. All right. So you guys are already starting out 4-0. That's a good thing. So you're currently 4-0. Tell me what your current team goals as you continue with the season, and maybe you have some personal goals there as well. Kind of tell me about those.
Yeah, keep working in the weight room. Go hard in practice day, stuff like that. It's nice.
Okay.
And
Now,
gotta do our jobs.
okay. All right. Now, has defensive always been your position of choice? I think when I saw you was it 8th grade, you played quarterback. If I'm not mistaken, you played a little bit of quarterback back then. So what made you still did you always play like quarterback and then switch to defense? Kind of tell me about that, how that kind of happened, because you was a big old quarterback. I was like, dang, he bigger than everybody else. He played quarterback. So what kind of happened with that, and what kind of made the switch?
Uh, when I was little, I started playing cornerback. It's been all over the field. So like you said, in 8th, the coaches just wanted to try me out there. And then I was doing pretty good, running a little bit. Yeah, I always like defense, so I like to hit. Yeah.
See, that's what I like to hear. Somebody who says, look, I played a little quarterback back in the day. It was cool, but I like defense because I like hitting people. That's what I'm talking about. And like I said, when I seen the tape, you be coming down there with bad intentions. You got a really good instincts for a young player already. You can track the ball very easily. Seems like you can go sideline to sideline. When you went to some camps, have you got your 40 time? Have you got timed in your 40 yet?
Not the time I ran, it was like 4.7, 4.8, something like
Okay.
that.
All right. All right. So what do you want to kind of get your 40 time before you head into college?
4.5, 4.6, somewhere down there.
All right. Now, I see you come from Magnolia, man. That's a lot of talent that's coming out there, man. And I just kind of been hip to the Mississippi scene. You guys got a lot of talent out there, big time talent. You know what I mean? So, are you kind of a homebody? Schools start recruiting you, man, and they're looking at Zedric Washington to come to their school. Is Cedric is the type of guy that I kind of just want to stay home, man. I want my family to see me out here. Or is Cedric like, man, I don't care, dog. I'm gonna go anywhere. As long as that school kind of fits me, I'll go anywhere. So where are you kind of feeling with those thoughts?
Yeah, I go anywhere. Like, it doesn't matter to me. Go.
Okay. And what type of school would you be looking for? I mean, like, have you looked at any schools like currently? If you had maybe some top schools out there, what maybe a top 3 schools that you would say if you had a choice of schools, where would you want to go?
Ole Miss, but Mississippi State. Yeah, Mississippi.
All right. Did you say Alabama as well? I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you. Did you say Alabama as well?
Yes.
Okay. Now, see, I'm a Texas boy, and I'm already mad about today. You know what I'm saying? Because I was waiting for you to come into the screen. I was watching that daggone game, and I'm already mad as hell. You know what I'm saying? Excuse my language. I'm mad as hell about that because I'm like, oh my gosh, dog! Like, why does this always happen to us, man? Like, we be right there at the end of the game, and it's how you gonna miss that sack, man? How you gonna see? That's you know what I'm gonna say. See, if that was Zedric playing, we would have got the sack. He'd have been on the ground, and we probably beaten Alabama. But this dude misses the sack, dog. How can you miss that? It's right there in your face. Did you see it, Zedric?
Yes. And the way he missed it.
I'm like, oh my gosh, man. So, hey, more power to you. Hey, I like to see you out there, but man, that hurt my soul losing that game right there. But kind of as we kind of end out this conversation and this interview, I really appreciate you taking out your time and doing this for me. But I always ask all the young athletes that I've had on my show, obviously you got high motivation. We see how you bring it on the field, and I know academically as well. But what's some motivation for you? Who kind of helps you motivate you when you're the times when you're tired, maybe when you don't feel like going hard, maybe when you feel like being lazy? Who's out there that kind of motivates Zedric Wilson to keep on going and being the best that he can be?
Parents, family, my teammates mostly. Yeah. And my coaches a lot.
Okay. Now, do you want to give any shout outs to anybody before you head off of here?
I tell my mom, my dad, sisters, all my teammates, coaches. Yes, sir.
All right. And I'll tell you what, they got number one, shout out to your mother and father. They've done an excellent job. Very, very excited. They've done an excellent job. So shout out to them. Salutes to them. And then, you know what? I definitely, let's say your coaches, man, they've done an excellent job training, coaching you. They got a great kid. And, I just see the great things happening for you. And just continue to do what you're doing, man. Like I said, you've been already exploding on the scene, man, blowing things up. Just continue to stay, grounded, continue to stay with your eyes focused, man. And you got a lot of potential to do some things, especially with this year and next year. So I'm excited to see what you can do. Like what I tell all the other young athletes, we'll have another interview at the end of the year so we can kind of check your season, how it went, maybe some goals that me and yourself just talked about, and see how that season ended. So I appreciate that. And also, you've already been doing a great job playing your tape on your Twitter. Continue to do that whenever you have games or anything of that nature. Post those on your Twitters, the highlights, because I put like highlights together each week from all the kids I've interviewed and kind of put a highlight reel of you guys together. And then I tag a lot of the recruiting services to get your name out there and continue to show everybody who you are. So the more tape you can get me, the more recruiting services I can help get out there, and we can help continue to get your name out there so you can get you a scholarship and we can see you playing on Saturdays, just like we saw these guys out here in Texas, Alabama. Sound good?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Well, I definitely appreciate you, like I said, taking your time out your busy schedule. You're undefeated. Keep on killing it out there. I like to see an undefeated season. You get 100 tackles, maybe about 7 to 8 sacks, 4, 5 interceptions, 10 tackles for losses. Go out there and ridiculously kill it. So, with that being said, myself, Big Game James, Zedric Washington, Generation Next, up and comers. Make sure you check him out. He's about to do great things out there in the streets. We out.